They will come back. They always do.
They had been walking for 20 minutes when Obiageli heard it. A sound from the compound behind them, distant but unmistakable. A door, then a voice, then another. She did not turn around. Mama Chibuzo's hand found her wrist in the dark and held it, not in fear, but in instruction. Keep walking, do not look back. Lot's wife looked back and became Salt. You are not Salt. Obiageli kept walking. The road Mama Chibuzo knew was not on any map. It was the kind of road that exists only in the memory of old women, worn into the earth by generations of feet that needed to disappear quietly. It wound behind the cassava farms, past the stream that dried every harmattan, through a grove of ancient iroko trees, whose roots rose from the ground like the knees of sleeping giants. It was beautiful, and it was terrifying, and it smelled like freedom. They reached a small house at the edge of a neighboring village as the sun broke fully over the trees. An old woman stood in the doorway, younger than Mama Chibuzo, but old enough to carry her own weight of knowing. She looked at Obiageli. She looked at the sleeping child on her back. She looked at Mama Chibuzo. She stepped aside without a single word. Inside, the house was simple. Swept clay floor, wooden benches, a pot of something warm already on the fire, as if they had been expected. Obiageli sat down and felt, for the first time in 3 years, the sensation of a room that did not want to hurt her. She began to cry, not silently this time. Meanwhile, back in the Okonkwo compound, the morning was unraveling. Emeka had gone to his wife's room at his mother's instruction to inform her of the plan, perhaps to rehearse the performance of a caring husband delivering bad news gently. The room was empty. The mat was folded, the lamp was cold, the small fabric bag was gone. He stood in the center of that emptiness for a long time, longer than he had ever stood beside his wife when she was actually present. His eyes moved to the corner where his daughter's small yellow wrapper was always folded. Gone. Something cracked inside Emeka's chest. He did not know yet if it was love or guilt or the first genuine feeling he had allowed himself in years. Mama Emeka's reaction was not what the compound expected. She did not wail, she did not tear her blouse. She sat in her chair in the courtyard, her rich purple and gold George wrapper, her high purple head tie, her perfect posture, and she was very, very still. The compound women watched her cautiously, the way one watches a pot that is too quiet on the fire. Then she spoke, to no one and everyone. She will come back. They always come back. But even as she said it, her hands, folded in her lap, tightened until her knuckles shifted color. Because somewhere, in the place behind her eyes where truth lives before pride can bury it, she was not sure. In the small house at the edge of the neighboring village, Obiageli's daughter woke. She looked around the unfamiliar room, at the swept clay floor, the wooden benches, the strange old woman by the fire, and then she found her mother's face, and she smiled, the full, uncomplicated, devastating smile of a child who does not yet know what her mother sacrificed in the night, only that her mother is there. Obiageli pressed her forehead against her small, warm forehead and closed her eyes. Idi ma, you are safe. Ani di ma, we are safe. Mama Chibuzo sat in the corner watching them. Her ancient hands, resting on her knees, were finally still. After a long while, she spoke. Adana tried to run too, but she had no one who knew the road. The room held the weight of that. Then the old woman by the fire turned and looked at Obiageli with eyes that had seen decades of this same story. You are not the end of this either, my daughter. You are only the first one to leave with the child. Obiageli looked at her daughter's face. Then she looked at the door, simple, wooden, open to the morning light. No one stood in it. No one owned it. For the first time in 3 years, she was looking at a door and feeling not dread, but the staggering, terrifying, beautiful possibility of what comes next. Back in the Okonkwo compound, Emeka was still standing in the empty room.